Heaver, I'm going to extend this hook that he has hooked here. Okay, because again, if I drive into a hook or into a frame, okay, because the hook here is still a frame, a different variation, okay, if I drive into it, I actually strengthen it and I get extended and off balance. Okay, so driving in here isn't going to be a very good idea. So instead, I'm going to go backwards. That's how you weaken frames, right? So I'm going to go back, extend my leg, and then once I get to here, I'm going to transition. Sometimes I like to step over, so you can step over here to headquarters. However, what I tend to find happens is when I step over, I'm very high up, and they can kick behind my ass and get underneath me here. So instead, we're going to go back to that starting position. I'm here, I extend. Okay, when I'm pushing hooks down, they try to lift the hooks usually. So I'm going to go underneath the foot, okay, and I'm going to go underneath this leg. Same thing. I'm going to drive up. Okay, but maybe we only get to this point where I can't get his legs behind his head. So when I get to here, I still have his legs elevated. Okay, still a good position for me. So I'm going to bring this knee behind his knee now because I can't get it all the way up across the shin. I'm actually hoping that he extends out. Okay, so I'm doing this with the awareness that he's going to drive back into me. Okay, and it's going to feel fairly strong because of behind his hamstring. So when I go here, I'm going to transition my grip, same thing, switch from the angle, okay, to behind his knee. I grip the hip, okay, so this hand needs to anchor on somewhere, so I'm going to hold the side of the hip, and now I'm going to drop this leg. So this bottom leg is going to fall to the mat. So I'm laying underneath his ass, okay? This is good for me still, even though I've just fallen over, looks like I sweat myself. If he tries to scramble up, his legs are underneath me. So I'll always win the scramble. I'll always be able to get up first because his legs can't actually really touch the mat very effectively. I'm underneath him. See if he tries to get up on top. Okay, he'll have to do like a sit-up. That's very difficult. So I'm underneath, so I can take my time in reaching for that far collar and coming up into a strong position. So like here, I go backwards because going backwards helps me take the frames out. Okay, I circle underneath. Other hand circles underneath. Same thing. I drive up. But we only get to midway, so we're going to save our backs. Okay? Once I'm here, I can bring my knee behind his knee, switch my hand to the swan. Oh no, away from you, I'm so sorry. Goes behind the leg, back hand grips the hip. Now this leg is going to drop behind, okay, so underneath his hip line. Like so. Okay, so underneath it. If Josh tries to get up, it's going to be really difficult. I'm blocking him from getting up. His feet can't hit the mat. Okay? Some people are literally freaks, okay? And eventually they might do like some crazy sit-up scramble here, but look how slow it's going to be. Okay, so it slows down at the very least. So when I'm here, look, I'm still hooking behind the leg. I'm not going to allow this to happen. Okay, this is going to be very shy for me. Okay, if I let this leg out, he's going to pull it through. Now, even when I come up, I'm coming up into a very annoying position. Okay, so I'm deciding how I get up. If I can't get my leg behind, I'm not getting up. I'm not going into this guard. Absolutely no point. So I'm going to stay here. My armpit is going to go over his knee. So I'm making sure I'm ahead of that frame so I don't come up with this blocking me. I make sure it stays ahead. I grab the far collar because that's going to ensure that I stay ahead of his knee. And it also means that it's easy for me to pull myself up. This back leg, I'm going to extend it out, and then I retract my bottom leg. Okay, so look, I extend, retract, and I pull up using these grips. And same thing, drive my head to the far shoulder. So we're just starting from a very similar position. Look, that Heaver. You can also do this from the original stack. So when you have here, you can go to here instead and stop at this midpoint. But I just want to introduce it from other positions, just so you can see how it can slot into other techniques as well. Okay? If you're like not familiar with Della Heaver, just start here, stack up, stop midway, knee comes behind, transition my grip, behind the knee, and I switch. Knee comes behind, I've got both ankles, look, I can't meet them to the mat. He's driving away too much. Bring this hand behind, my swan. No, that's a swan. Yeah. I bring my swan behind his knee. grab his hip, and now I'm going to drop. So my back leg is falling to the mat. As I fall to the mat, look, I'm still fall. Maybe not like that, but I'm just collapsing to the mat. I'm here, pull the leg with me as I drop. This far arm is going to reach, catch the far collar, kick, and I use the grips to drag myself in tight. So look, if I'm loose here, he's going to just get his feet to my body. Exactly, he's going to be in the way, or he'll push me away with his feet. Exactly. Okay, so I need to make sure, even though I'm flopping to the mat, that I'm staying nice and tight. So when I'm here, look, everything is tight. So making sure the space is nice and closed. Is everyone happy with that? 1, 2,